Now
Hello
listen,
there.
sorry I'm late. I had to use the washroom. I was just recording something about Goosetown. Have you ever heard about Goosetown?
Oh no. Is this another one of your ridiculous?
Nothing to do with me. Could you imagine that Jack Dorsey is actually a little bit more interested in Gastown than I am? So Square, I guess, what is it? Square begat Block, or Block nay Square. I guess Block has an
Okay.
IDE or AI agent called Goose, and they
Okay.
decided to mid February, a month and a half ago, essentially fork Gastown to make their own Goose. So they made Goosetown. And again, I kind of don't care. I'm still very interested in orchestration and
Uh-huh.
Claude agent teams and things like
Uh-huh.
that. But here's where I get angry, Matt. There's this podcast. There's one of the many Matts in a podcaster told me a long time ago that tool calling is difficult. Do you remember this statement?
Did I say
Do
that?
you remember? You sure did. The tool calling, I think you may have actually said originally the tool calling was a mistake to do with Olama models and things like that. And maybe I thought I could get your advice again because lo and behold, I was like, hey, if you can make Goosetown, I mean,
Uh,
that sounds Canadian. The Canada Goosetown. Let's
the
go here.
the only
Tool
thing I
calls
can
are hard.
think of the only thing I can think of around tool calling is not that it's wrong. So there was a announcement about I want to say like a year ago about tool calling added to Olama. Um,
Right.
and the problem I had with that statement was that tool calling was added like a week or two after Olama was created.
Right.
It's been there from the very beginning, and so you can do it. There's no model that doesn't support tool calling. Period.
Okay.
But you have to before the thing that was added to Olama like a year and a half ago or whatever it was.
Hmm.
Before that, you had to build the prompt yourself to figure out, to say, here's what my tools are and here's what I want you to figure out. Now figure it
Right.
out and output the JSON. And that was what was supported originally. It was just JSON output. And so you could say, figure out which tool to use and give me the name. What was added more recently was a more rigid way of doing it. And so it would build the prompt for you rather than you having to build the prompt. Um, it did it in a way that was, I don't know, at least at the time, it seemed to be when they added tool calling, it made tool calling like a quarter as usable as the old way. It was just far
Amazing.
now. It may have improved since then, or it may not have, and we're just used
Right.
to it. And that's, I mean, it's easier to because I mean, still sometimes tool calls don't work the way you expect. Um, and I mean, there were so many. Oh my god, I remember when I put out those videos, there were so many people who were upset
This is
because.
July 2024. Actually, sorry, my memory is shit. This
Oh,
this
okay,
is this is when we talked about it. It was a minute ago. Yeah, my
yeah.
apologies.
And so many people thought that the model itself runs the tools. It's like,
Right.
no, this is how it works. This is here. You can see it in even in OpenAI's documentation. No, OpenAI's documentation is very clear. They don't. The model doesn't run the tool. It's the other tooling
The
around the
harness, I
model.
think.
Huh?
Right? Yeah. I think it's a harness. Is that the
Yeah,
term
yeah.
we've Yeah, okay. Right.
Um,
And Matt, did you know that I did not know that until like yesterday?
oh,
I
okay.
thought I thought somehow that I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. When I thought of it, I was like, how would it make a tool call? Where would it make
Right.
the tool
Where
call?
is the tool
Like,
call made from? It's always
yeah,
made
yeah.
from. It was so early on with OpenAI when I think they kind of uh, came up with the initial documentation around tool calling.
Mhm.
Um, there wasn't anything special there. It was just this is another use case for the model, and initially the only way to run tools, even on the AI side, was to ask the model which tool to run. The model would respond, and then your code on your machine runs that tool, just like it does
Right.
with Olama. Just a little bit later on, they added that into their harness that's around their model. That's all. I mean, it's kind of hard to
Right.
distinguish which is which because you
Right.
just interact with ChatGPT, and that includes the harness and the model. And
Right.
they added some functionality for that up there. Um, but sometimes it's still useful to run the tool from your machine. Depends on where you need the execution to happen from.
Right. Totally agree.
Yeah.
And that's so. I'm not sure if I told you I've been playing around with OpenClaw a
Oh
little
yeah, yeah,
bit,
yeah.
much to my chagrin. I'm really not a fan, but I want to know, what other people are like. And what I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of is not the tools or anything. It's more about like when it was made and the ecosystem and things like that. It's got less to do with the concept and more to do with the actual code itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I played around with it for a bit. I don't think I told you that I got some Armenian spam attack. Does that ring? Yeah, okay. I
Mm.
figured you probably remember that. So I think what it did was it was trying to self-configure. I'm saying it here. It's just an agent. Went into the web, did a research, probably for OpenClaw, and then found some spammy page. I was using searching, and as far as I can tell, it was from Bing. There has actually been a lawsuit. I think Friday or Thursday. There's somebody extradited for this exact same
Mm.
problem. So running like an openclaw.org. So when you search Bing, you'd find it. You would install the malicious one, and it would steal your crypto or whatever. This one wasn't even that smart, but it got into a specific area of OpenClaw that I thought was pretty novel for me. It took over the tool calls, and then it would print something in Armenian, which I think was 3 sentences, but it was very, very small. There must be a way in the script to like make it tiny, so you can put like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
information in a tiny little window. Also, I can't read or write Armenian, so I couldn't tell what it said. But the Claude helped me out. It's like, this is a malicious prompt
Right.
injection. And then the payload was like an Asian gang or something like that. Regardless, it doesn't really matter about the attack. But I started thinking, now this is in my tool calls, and I wasn't using tool calls at all in this harness. I had
Mm-hmm.
removed 2 calls from OpenClaw. All it could do was IRC. But it started making tool calls that were failing, and so I could actually see what it was doing. And I was like, oh, I mean, it's calling shells. Like I've been doing this since PHP back in the day, like a web UI that can like dirtily call a shell script. I was like, I can do this. How do you know you're calling the right tool? Like if
Right.
you're calling CD, is it the right CD? Like I have a bunch of questions about how it works. It turns out the tool calling is remarkably difficult to get right. One of them has to do with the temperature of the model. The other
Mm-hmm.
is the configuration of the model and when it reads its config,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's the same session, something's changed behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And the third is just getting it to do the darn thing told
Right.
it to do, or like even grab the information from a
Right.
tool call that's already happened and then shuttle it off to the model. The model 100% of the time be like, no, I don't have permission to do that. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, you do though. I told you.
Mm-hmm.
And then even in that
Which
case,
model were you using?
I was using so I started with Minimax 2.5 just because I feel like it's rough around the edges enough that
Mm-hmm.
you can see when you're steering it, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. The Minimax 2.5 is actually a pretty good model. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
there are better ones on Ollama. I then, after assuming that I had what I got done right, I moved to Minimax 2.7 to feel like I know you and I, like it feels more accurate for coding,
Mm-hmm.
but it's possibly a worse model overall.
Right.
It's not good for text at all. And then after that, I moved to my favorite, which is Kimi K2.5, which is
Right.
what I've been using for
Right.
most tasks actually in
Yeah.
Ollama. Okay, fast forward a couple days here. Turns out there is a limit for Ollama Cloud. And I'll explain to you how I got there because I don't think most people would be on this frontier. It's a little bit difficult, but we'll talk about networks and communication
Mm-hmm.
networks. So Matt, you and I, if we're talking, that's a one-to-one kind of, there's 2 points and maybe the third would be the conversation. So
Mm-hmm.
there's 3 things to watch. We add a third person, and there's 3 things to watch as well as 3 combos. So we're at 6. So we went from 3 to 6. And if you add 4 people, it's
Mm-hmm.
4 combos, 4 people. But they can start talking between each other. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got these ones. So it's a little bit more complicated. You add 5, and the thing in the middle starts to get a
Mm-hmm.
little bit bigger. 6, 7, 8, I get to 10. So at probably 9 or 10, that network effect, one there's a storm. So imagine each of those agents has a conversation with at least one,
Right.
if not 9 other agents. So it's 10 by 10. So it's 100 calls at least
Mm-hmm.
happening within about a second because they're
Yeah.
pretty fast. IRC is what I'm using to get them to talk to you. I'm trying to use old school stuff. Like, don't attack me, bro. I'm from the 80s. please. The other thing is IRC is very limited in terms of what it can do, which is good because that's what we want. We don't want them escaping the shell and doing fun stuff. But first thing is you exceed essentially the capacity of the API to answer to your IP, that one IP,
Right.
because you're creating 100 calls from your IP
Right.
to Llama. And I'm like, hold on, API limit, which is fair. Actually, it's more than fair. They're
Yep.
pretty lenient because I think you can get up to about 8 agents, which is like, let's say about 80 calls
Yeah.
a second. And it like, Llama is like, whatever. At 10 is right around the magic number where you don't want
Yeah.
to do it. Now do this for a couple days and set
Yeah.
in like back off and stuff like that, and it becomes a lot. So every conversation, if you're broadcasting to a channel and they can talk to each other, it becomes like a massive, massive undertaking every time you have any conversation. So generally, I think the question these days is, should your sub agents be able to talk to each other? I'm here to say with Llama today, like, no, your sub agents should absolutely not talk to each other. It's a bad design. Should they talk to each other on like a Claude? Probably not. It's just going to be a wallet attack. Like it's going to be even worse. But I think locally with the smaller models, it might be good to have like a Phi or Phi or whatever talking locally, or 3.1 or 3.1, what have you, and then have another one to talk into the cloud. And then I get into something, I think it's called Tensor. Oh my, sorry. You're gonna laugh at me here. Tensor Zero. Have you heard of Tensor Zero?
No.
But essentially an API gateway. Imagine one endpoint, like a locally hosted Llama that everything goes to,
Right.
And they can queue up the request and set off. I think that's way smarter, and that's kind of what a sub agent or agent would do inside of like a Cloud Code or ChatGPT. Okay, fast forward a little bit more. The problem I'm having, me and my agent team are having, is like, there are so many, I think they're called Swiss knife. I would say Swiss Army knife, but there are so many tools in the Unix ecosystem that instead of doing one thing, actually do a lot of things. One of those tools is curl. You can get up to so much nifty hijinks with curl that like I added it as a tool, and then I quickly realized like this is an attack vector as well. You can just browse the web and get into whatever. If you're curling to anything outside of this, it's bad. So essentially what I did with the API gateway is, one, track and log, but also like reduce down what they can actually access. And this is kind of where I stand now. So they've got access to a few tools. DU and DF are my favorite to test because I've denied DU, but I've allowed DF. So just as a test, like, are you reading your rules? Do the rules work? What have you? So it can check disk free, but it can't check disk used, I think is what DU is. So it's like point, counterpoint.
Right.
But that's where I'm at now. Tool calling is hard. I've set the temperature to 0.1, which should be like letter of the law.
Yeah.
Still doesn't work so much. And I think what I'm trying to say is, like, when I'm looking at just the Llama desktop app, for example, I have a lot more respect into just how much, I don't know, pain and suffering it would take to get there. Like, without running through a number of evals and experiments, trying to figure out if your system prompt is correct to allow tool calls, basically it's non-trivial. It's not something you can vibe code in a night. Definitely did try. Don't do that. But it's sorry. All this to say, like, when I look at these tools now, I have a lot more respect in the fact that you can just open files at all, because it's non-trivial. There's a lot more going on outside of the model than you're aware of. And I think most people, with just given a raw model, may not actually like what they get. They need more, and they don't realize it.
Right.
That's my rant. I'll put the soapbox away for a moment.
Cool.
What have you been up to?
What was I up to?
That bad?
I can't remember what we did this weekend.
Well, I saw you writing some stuff down. You got a notepad in front of you. I know it.
I do have a notepad. I've got my little notepad here and got all sorts of things on it. As you were talking about curl, I was thinking of I saw a listing or some article about there've been a bunch of browsers that have been released for agents to run.
Yeah.
And some of them have been Chrome-based browsers that the agent can run. But there was one I saw this morning, I've forgotten the name of it, but an agent browser, but doesn't use Chrome. It's all command line driven. Okay. It's written in Rust because that's the cool thing to do. It was probably on Hacker News today.
Is it Vercel agent browser, written in Rust, Apache 2, 14 hours ago?
Could be.
This might be it. Agent space browser. I like
Yeah,
where you're going with this because
yeah,
I was gonna be funny and say W3M or Linux because this is exactly what I want. It's like a Chrome based CLI,
yeah,
right? Because like they
yeah.
love text and they hate GUI as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
Like okay, let's flip that on its head based on what I just said. Writing tool calls for random XY coordinates and screenshots
Right.
is probably difficult, and just handling a CLI is
Yeah.
way more grokkable for the agent
Right.
or like for the like send
Right.
command and receive. I think the CLI way makes a lot more sense. This is cool. I thought you were going to talk about Comet again. I think we talked about that last time.
What was it?
Comet, I think from
Oh yeah,
Perplexity, isn't that the
I
one?
don't like that.
Have you tried
It's
it? Okay,
I don't like the. I mean, it's too much like I hate Dia. I mean, I love Dia and I hate Dia
okay, yeah, yeah,
because every
that's
time
fair.
I try to do a search, it says, "Oh, let me switch you over to chat." It's like, no, I just want to do a search. If I want to chat, I will let you know.
I'll chat.
Uh,
Yeah.
this was actually a Pardus browser that I was thinking of.
Oh,
GitHub.com/Jason Hunkel. JASONHONKL/Pardus browser. Um, I guess I
mm,
could send you a chat.
yeah.
You found it?
No.
Okay, hold on.
Can
Copy.
I not spell Jason?
Jason
Sorry.
spelled like a name, like a
Oh,
JASON.
okay. So I found it. I found the Pardus Clogger, but I assume Pardus browser is also in here.
Pardus browser. I just sent you in the chat.
Perfect. I did not get your chat, but I found the repo. My
Okay,
apologies.
fine.
Okay, yes,
Whatever.
it is in fact the same repo.
Okay.
Pardus browser in Rust and is somehow better than Vercels. Okay,
I don't know
let's
about
see.
that. I mean,
Okay, okay.
I
So
have
one of
no
the things
idea
in
what's
here.
better.
Have you tried doing this before? Have you tried
No.
giving your agent a browser? Okay, so area
No way.
roles, area roles is like actually very important because it'll aria. I think it allows you to break the web page down into components and only read those components. Is
Oh,
my
okay.
understanding, which is actually super handy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, it outputs JSON, which is actually pretty handy. Okay, all right. Yeah, every interactive element tagged with navigate, click, fill, toggle, or select, which is also handy because
Right.
like from a screenshot, generally LLMs can't figure out what they need to do. Pretty cool. Huh. Nice. No browser binary required. This looks pretty cool. I also do like the just the tree view. I think is pretty
Mm-hmm.
handy as well. I feel like a lot of web browsing gets stuck on that. I did pay for Perplexity, by the way, and still have not
Hmm.
used Comic Browser. I get stuck on computer use, or just using Perplexity as a search, like a research engine, is way better than the free version. And maybe I feel like I need to take back some of the stuff I said about their news, but like once paying for it, I've not had issues with headline summaries or anything like that. I don't know if this is a coincidence or not. And the quality of the research is actually quite good, especially adding it as like an API key that you can then hand off to an agent. So aside from me just YOLO driving it,
Right.
very, very handy. I think the
And then
combination of those two would be great.
unrelated, unrelated, but it reminded me of. But
Mm.
are you a Vim fan?
I can be. Depends on the day. I'm a VI fan. How's that?
Okay. Okay.
It's
So
the M that I don't like.
there's a an app for Mac that tries to turn everything, make everything Vimable, like Vim
Oh,
actions,
HJKL.
emotions,
Yeah.
called Kinda Vim.
Ooh.
I just found out about this yesterday, I think. Kinda Vim.
Yeah, I see this.
It looks pretty interesting.
Can I ask you a VI question?
You can ask.
Imagine you're going into your let's try to make this mat related fish RC, and you
Yeah.
have to add a line to the end of the file for your fish RC file. What are the keyboard shortcuts you use to get you there
G.
the fastest? G. Okay, G is one. Yep, but G is the wrong answer because G gets you on the last line of the first character.
Last line first. Wait, where do you want to go?
Next line, because I'm adding a line.
G then A or
G
O.
$ A. I think it's supposed to be G,
Oh,
uppercase
or
G,
is it O?
lowercase
I don't
a,
know. I
dollar
mean,
sign.
I just do it. G
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
O, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
O, is it?
Oh, I could try O. I didn't think of that. Okay. This came up recently because I forgot it and I had to Google it and I was like, how did I forget
But
this?
I'm bad. I mean, if I need to go
I,
to the
I
right a
haven't
few
been typing
characters,
in
I just
Vim.
press the arrow key a
Yeah,
few characters.
I've been forgetting my
Yeah.
Vim Foo or whatever, Vim
Th-
Golf. It's
there
terrible.
was a really good post I
Vim
saw just the
Adventure?
other. Huh? No,
Was it
no.
Vim Adventure? I love that
Uh,
thing. I know you didn't like it, but that's how I learned like VI
yeah.
bindings. It was that stupid
Um,
adventure game.
I saw this was a post also in Hacker News last
Yeah.
week by a blog, um, some Italian blog, a Larvitz blog
Okay.
is what it's called. But shell tricks that actually make life easier and save your sanity.
Oh.
And so it's
Oh,
more
wow.
about
That's for me.
using, if you're in a command and you want to go to the beginning of the line in the command,
Hmm.
what are the keys, or
Home.
get rid of the command so that you can test that that directory is there, and then paste that
Oh,
command back in there as it
yes, yes,
was.
yes.
All those types of things. I need to review it a few more times, and then actually
Oh, yeah.
this
Because you can like yank, right? I'm terrible at that. Is it PB
so
copy? You can
this
yank to PB copy and
article
then
in the chat. Um, it
yeah, Larvitz.
points that points to the article, but it also points to the Hacker News comments. And in the comments, there's like all these other tricks that people use. It's like you
Oh,
need to sift through that to
sorry,
find
I
some
did
good
click the
stuff.
link. I'm really worried if I click a link here, it's gonna like take over the browser or something like that. So I've been trying to go, but
Oh
I
yeah,
do find
sorry.
it. The
Yeah,
comments are good. No, no, you're good. You're good.
yeah.
It's a me thing. It did not, in fact, get me to leave here.
Okay.
This is sweet.
Yeah.
The other that I have to teach people once in a while is being able to skip words depending on the terminal emulator that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are hold Alt and press left and right. Some of them are hold Control. But like instead of
Mm.
you see the people who are like holding down their key
Yeah.
just to go to the beginning of the line, and it's like,
Yeah.
especially in a pairing session,
Yeah.
it's been a minute. It's a dumb
Uh,
one, but it's like, what is
I
going on?
I sometimes do that, and I've because I forget. I was like, oh, I forgot. But
And then what do you do?
I've
Set your
forgotten
key
so much.
repeat rate like super high, so it just
Yeah.
motors to the beginning of the file. This is good. I think some of these, yeah, some of these also talk about like bind keys, which is pretty
Yeah.
handy. That's pretty smart. And I think that's what I mean about the terminal emulator is that they bind things a little bit differently. This is sweet. Thank you. I do spend a lot of my time in the command line still. I think I kind of love and hate the terminal being sort of new again.
Right.
Mm. It just
Well, speaking of
there's some
command
things
line,
that are so ugly, like color codes in terminal. Anyway,
yeah.
sorry. What were you gonna say?
Speaking of command line, did you see that
Mhm.
the source code for Claude Code CLI was leaked by Anthropic?
It was not. Two things. The source map was released, which
Right.
is important because you can already decompile it because it's like it's some made up
Right.
coffees JavaScript.
CoffeeScript?
No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. It's just like JavaScript. So you already could
Oh,
decompile
you
it, and I
could.
think it's
I didn't know
leaked.
that.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's leaked 3 times, but you don't.
Okay.
What is it called? Symbolification. You don't have like the names
Yeah.
of the functions, so you can't really tell what's going on.
Yeah.
And the source map allows you to do it anyway, and you could have recreated
Yeah.
your own. But regardless, what I found in there is it Claude cheat codes?
Oh,
Claude cheat codes. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Claude cheat codes allows you to go in and look at things that were in there, including the Easter egg for tomorrow. Are you aware of the Easter egg that's
no.
coming out tomorrow? It's a Tamagotchi. And
Yeah.
it actually looks super cool. I was like, So imagine you've got like the little Claude bot or whatever is a little Tamagotchi, and it can like track your stats or do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're leaning into the personification of sorry, I said Claude bot, but the Claude character,
Right.
which is like a bot, not OpenClaw or what have you.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's just called ccleaks.com.
Hmm.
is what it's called. My apologies. And it's just Cloud Code Leaks, and it's kind of like a cheat sheet of all the things that they found out about that are sometimes what do you call it,
Hmm.
like fast ring or blue green deployments, or like you may or may not have access to them, basically is what they're
Right.
saying. And in some cases you do and you can't see it. The one that I saw in here that immediately it was like, my agent needs this, like my harness could do this. Ultra plan, like, yeah, obviously, like we can make an ultra plan. Well,
Hmm.
I don't even know what ultra plan would be, but you know what I mean? And on the left, sorry, Buddy is the command for those of you who
Right.
are listening to the podcast. So Buddy is the AI companion pet, is how they describe it, and
Hmm.
every user gets a, sorry to spoil the surprise here, a virtual pet, what have you. But there are a few other things in here that I thought were really interesting. Looping, I think we've talked about before, but the UDS inbox is pretty interesting to me. And I'm not sure if you use agent teams and watch how because they
No.
have inboxes and they pass messages between themselves, which is pretty cool. A lot of times they'll say, user should never see this message. And it's like the first line of the agent, like, well, you kind of messed up there, but whatever. And then you can control O expand it and see the prompt that's been given from
Hmm.
the primary agent to the sub agent, or like the agent team, which is actually pretty handy. But as somebody who's trying to create like IRC and Qdrant memory and all this stuff, like
Right.
the concept of an inbox, just like a mailbox, even just a mailbox, is very, very powerful as like a pub sub queue, like a
Right.
very low wave pub sub. But yeah, there's a few interesting things in here. I think
Hmm.
Bridge, yeah, Bridge is in here as well, which I believe already exists as remote control is what it's called now. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff in here. The
Hmm.
secret flags that you can grab out.
Yeah.
Some stuff that might not have been there. I think autofix PR in here, for example, I've seen before.
Hmm.
But yeah, have you done, by the way, BT Dubs?
No, but I mean, I've
Okay,
seen
so
it.
by the way,
Yeah.
yeah, like I use by the way all the time, and I think the next release, are we at Claude 2? Anyway, right around now is when Claude 2 is supposed to drop 2.0. And my understanding is there's more aside commands, so
Hmm.
commands that you can run while it's doing things similar to
Mm.
BTW, because it was so popular. But I use that all the time. It's like you're working, but also I want to like not poison your context,
Right. Right.
but find something else since I'm in this window already. Can I ask
Hmm.
something related, but maybe not completely related.
Right.
Anyway, I thought you might like this.
Yep.
This was going to be my checkout, but here we are. I'll think of something else
Cool.
by the time we get there. What else is on your
So,
list? You seem to have like 9 things on there.
what did that lead me to? Well,
Security agents?
thinking of maybe a, is it a breach, or is, it's sharing stuff that they didn't intend to share.
Mhm.
But here's something. Did you see about the Axios?
I did not. What happened to
Axios,
Axis?
uh the
News
instead of
aggregator?
request, the
Yeah.
request library that got breached,
Oh,
hacked.
the
NPM.
Rust? What? What?
NPM,
No way.
yeah, Axios, which is in 100
Oh,
million downloads,
yeah.
pretty massive. So,
Oh
things
no.
like OpenClaw uses it, and so for a few minutes or some period of time this morning, um,
Wow.
there was a
Shoot.
supply chain hack.
Holy
One of the
moly.
main contributors, his account.
Got popped.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like at this point in time, I'm not saying Rust is the way to go, but if you're gonna vibe code something, vibe coding in a hard language, or like even less popular, is what's this called? Security through obscurity, I
Yeah.
think is what I'm talking about. Like I'm running NetBSD for most of these agents now
Yeah.
on Raspberry Pi. It's like
Yeah.
like ARM based NetBSD. Like it's non-trivial to build binaries for them, so I have to go through an extra step of
Right.
rigmarole just to get something working. But also, I feel like this is the right way to go. I
Yeah.
know that's so lazy, but if it helps, it
Yeah.
helps. This sucks. Axios is massive.
Massive. Yeah.
Damn. I thought you were talking about the like the blog, because it's been like a news site as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Darn.
But and then that kind of leads me to something else that I saw.
You got a whole
I
news
got
story planned. This is amazing.
like
The
there's a
segues
thread.
planned out. Whoa, look out.
You seen about Docker sandboxes?
Yes, I have. In fact, I think because I was following another project that built essentially Docker
Yeah,
sandboxes, and then Docker built Docker Sand, and they essentially built them the same way. They're
yeah,
all like basically identical. And
yeah,
yeah, it actually looks like this is kind of my chief complaint about Dockers is like it's pointless. Like run a VM that you don't trust, and then
right.
hopefully the container inside
Yeah,
of there is okay. Like what?
yeah,
Because macOS has a bunch of sandbox features built in. And I think they both came to the same
yeah,
conclusion. Like, why not just use what's there?
yeah.
Uh, there is a term for it though. It's not a sandbox, right? It's oh shoot.
What, jails?
Uh, no, it's not a jail either. Oh, there's certain. It's not a tripwire. There's a certain term for it that they use. Of course, they're not going to talk about the architecture. Let's see. Oh, maybe they do. Shoot, they do. Um,
What are
what
we
is it
looking
called?
for? Like a
I'm looking. It's Software and Doctor. I'm looking. There's a way that they sandbox on Mac that I thought was pretty novel. But it's
mm,
basically Mac has a sandbox mechanism, which is awesome, and it can like you can cancel or allow as things
hmm.
grab stuff up. But I think they're both using that same mechanism. I was just trying to find out what it was. That's really cool. My apologies here. Oh, I can't for some reason I can't find that article.
Hmm.
My apologies, but yes, I think if you're out there using like dangerously allow permissions or
Yeah,
YOLO mode or whatever,
yeah,
you have to be in the sandbox.
yeah,
I think I've given some cautionary tales to
yeah.
the attendees of this fair podcast, but I lost like almost my whole NAS. I've got
Yeah.
a
Oh,
few,
yeah.
but like one of the boxes almost completely was destroyed, and I had to like recover the headers for the raw disks, which
Yeah.
is not something you ever
Yeah.
want to do. It's not great. So yeah, I would recommend it.
Yeah. And I, I think you had mentioned to me about separating something like an OpenClaw or something, but using Tailscale. But you were referring to like a creating a separate tailnet, or were you?
Yes, yes, and they came out with a feature for me. Listen, I don't want to like, I don't get a lot of ego here, but the feature they released felt like it was for me. I realized it was probably for all the OpenClaw users, but it is actual like network overlay isolation within one Tailscale account as opposed to having many, which is kind of what I
Well,
was trying to do. I was trying to separate the network,
what
so they had
what
one
what
tailnet,
feature
I
is
had
new?
another. We'll pull it up. So I think it's called network isolation.
Which has been there
Uh,
for months.
no. It's a new one, brand new,
Like, what can you do?
Uh,
Because what I was thinking of was, being able to put it on a Tailscale and say
mhm.
that my that box has no access to anything on the internet or on my
Yes.
network, except for I want it just to have access to port 11434 on my machine, which has been in there
Yes.
since the beginning.
Uh, all great, easy to do. I just separated the networks. What they announced was an AI gateway, which is which is what I'm
Ah,
doing. Anyway, so when we were talking about Tensor Zero, all that
yeah.
stuff, I don't think that's what they're using, but it looks very like if you look at it, it looks like Kibana. Sorry to like bring back old memories, but it's called Aperture. If you're looking for it on Google,
Hmm.
and Aperture is it's a configurable AI gateway, but it's like lightweight, I would say, in terms of like you and I might need a little bit more control, but this is way better than nothing. It shows you what your freaking bots are doing online, which is definitely not something I
Oh,
got out of a tailnet. Like I would have to log and then pour over the logs and be like, "What'd you do last night? Like, how are you this messed up when I woke up?" This allows you to actually like essentially examine all the traffic, set rules, etc. It looks quite good. I think based on what I saw, I probably might need a little bit more control over things like which models they can grab. Bless you.
thank you.
And like
So where is this?
if you go to
Oh,
I
okay, I
think
got
it's
it.
under
Secure access to AI
securing
or something.
AI, I
Yeah.
think is what they're calling. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
this
It's
a
Aperture.
is this a paid feature or?
It looks like it's a
Hmm.
paid use feature. I don't see anything in here under free. I do pay for Tailscale. I
Oh,
apologize.
really? Why?
Why am I apologizing, or what do I
No,
pay
why
for?
do you pay?
Is it guilt? I think it's probably
That's
guilt.
a good reason. Yeah.
it Look, WireGuard, right? I think it's the open source
Yep.
one. Having tried both, and maybe it's the fact that it just runs on Synology and QNAS and ASUS Store and
Hmm.
all. Like it's already they've done all that legwork, and I don't have to do it.
Yep.
Look, yeah, I will give you I think it's $6 a month. It is in fact
Okay.
$6 a month, and there's only one user in my massive guest
Yeah.
sound business over here. Yeah, and it's so handy. I can't
Yeah.
begin.
Oh, I mean, I use
It's
it.
amazing.
I wouldn't be. There's so much I wouldn't be able to do without
Right,
Tailscale.
right.
Um, and I mean, I remember one of the early reasons why people would say, here's what you get with free. You get 100
Hmm.
devices. You get,
Hmm.
but it turns out when you look at that, it's like, okay, well, what if I need more than 100 devices? Do I go to? It's like, no. With all their
Make an
plans,
account.
you get 100 devices.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's
100
100
devices is
devices.
a lot.
Period.
It's
Yeah.
that's a lot though.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I've got a
you,
big network,
but then,
but still.
but then you pay more for additional devices after, and you
Sure.
can pay more.
Yeah.
But with all of them, even if you're paying whatever the max per month
Uh,
is, you still have 100 devices.
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm using any like the cool features.
So
I'm just
six
looking
dollars.
through.
Okay, so that's a starter. What do you get?
I I think it gives you the same as free. It just gives you the cool feeling. Like I
The
don't
cool feeling of having supported it.
paying them.
So there's
Yeah.
Personal Plus, which is $5 a month.
No, I think I'm on
And then
starter.
there's Starter for $6 per user per month. Oh, so $5 per month gets you. It
Oh,
doesn't
you
say.
can get MDM policies and all this stuff. No, you don't
Hmm.
get any of that. What am I talking about?
No,
No, all that's in premium. Okay.
that's
I,
18
I
bucks.
really feel like really feel like you're just paying them to feel good. And
Yeah,
that's like when I looked at it,
but
I was like,
if you
I
have
don't see any
access
difference.
to this, oh, you don't know if you have access to the Aperture stuff.
I have not checked it out. No, I'm
Okay.
just looking at it. Yeah.
Hmm.
I could log in, but I don't want to log in on my working computer.
No, no, no. Let's see. Does it say on their
but but I feel
detailed?
like Aperture is like it almost feels like a must have now for any
Yeah,
VPN service. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna pay
yeah.
for VPN, what are you giving me in return? For $6 a month, like what does what is it? NordVPN? I'm trying to think of the scammy ones that advertise all the time. NordVPN, is that the one?
Yeah,
Maybe not scammy, spammy? Spammy ones.
spammy. Yeah. I don't see that feature, the Aperture feature, listed on there more
I don't either.
detailed what you get in the plans.
Yeah, I don't either. Do you have to pay for it?
Yeah.
Get started. Oh, it's an alpha.
Oh, it's under.
Oh, it's an alpha.
Oh, okay.
Request only. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
Like, and listen, I could be wrong, but this might be Grafana, but I'm pretty sure that's Kibana. Having
And
spent
then,
like 3 years working on both, like I feel like I know.
and then I think you said something about what is it? Open something that like records the
Open Whisper?
open records the like a metrics open does metrics or logs sounds like I don't know
Open Tel? Yeah,
open
yeah. Can
telemetry
you drop
open
me?
telemetry
Oh, it is Hotel. Okay, yeah.
yeah um
Now, sorry, Matt. We're going to give you my mnemonic device. You don't need to keep this, but remember, I speak English and French. So in my brain, it's like hotel, hotel, Holiday Inn. So sorry, because like when French people say hotel, they say hotel,
uh
or the other way. If they're trying to say hotel, they say hotel. Anyway, sorry. This is how I remember it: is the hotel. So
okay
you
okay
can
well
you can
that
take or leave that,
I
but this is how I remember it all the time.
I would not think of telemetry and hotel.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yes.
um But I believe you were saying that you do use open telemetry with open code, or
Uh,
maybe
Claude Code.
Claude code. Okay.
Claude Code. I think I tried with Open Code, and there was. I think I ended up using hooks for Open Code,
Hmm.
but I think most of them have OTel
Hmm.
built in. But I don't think Open Code does.
Hmm.
Let me have a look here. Uh, they have an open feature from December.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not
Interesting.
sure if it's built in. So I don't think I could with open code. I mean, you can trace it, all that stuff.
Right.
It's open source code. You can do whatever you
Right.
want. But it doesn't have the hooks built in, or sorry, it doesn't have the bindings. Perhaps I'm trying not to say hooks here because I used hooks, if I
Right.
recall correctly, to do it. And I say I here because I had an assistant. But I believe hooks, like every time something happens, a hook is sent,
Mm-hmm.
and in those hook you can define what
Yep.
happens. And I ended up doing that for the ones that I had, just because it was easier than OTel.
Yep.
And then it uses Datadog after that. You could use whatever, you could use Kibana if you want to,
Right.
or Grafana or what have you, but I was using Datadog.
And then
Why do you ask about open
I don't know.
code and OTel though?
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
remember
so
why.
what I would suggest, though, if you're trying to go down that path, I mean, open code is in TypeScript, so like OTel, it's basically first party support, so you're good to go. But I do think the hooks are maybe the interesting part, and it's kind of like what did we talk about? Like the business value of metrics or something like that. It's
Mm-hmm. Oh
something,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it's like one of
Yeah.
those things for me. I kind of don't care that you sent a request. I I really care about what was in the request, if it makes sense.
Right.
So like at different hook junctures, you may need different data, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of depends on your business case. But I think for most people, security is going to be key. So like
Yep.
logging is the first step. Anyway, that's how I approached it, but I'm sure there are different ways to
Yeah.
do it. What's
Um,
next on your
so you
list here? You get
mentioned
a whole
TypeScript just
thing.
now.
Oh
You
my
mentioned
god,
and
the segues are flying.
well, I a few like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I was noticing more and more people mentioning Bun
Yeah.
as being, this thing, and I was like, wait, Bun. I mean, I remember it wasn't that long ago that Bun basically lost compared to Dino, and it was like Dino
I think
was
you thought that.
But Dino was like demonstrably faster. It had better support. It had not better support, better ability to like. One thing I love about Dino that you don't get with Bun still
Mhm.
was cross compiling, and creating an executable from JavaScript or TypeScript code, um, and then being able to distribute that to other people without requiring a runtime. And that was like, it's made it so easy to develop tools that you could just give to other people on a team. And although there was a Bun benchmark that showed that they were faster, it only was
Right.
faster if you don't do anything real world. And like, so it was, that was a useless benchmark. It turned out Dino was faster in most cases. And then Dino is pretty much gone. And I was kind of wondering what's going on. And I saw that five of the main contributors for Dino left the company like in the
Oh.
last week.
Oh no.
And so it looks like the company's kind of imploding.
And Dino is from the Node creator, right? Dino is
Yeah,
just Node kind
Brian
of.
Dahl, created it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Canadian. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, whatever. I won't hold that
I think
against him.
he,
Yeah.
we used to work at Sun Microsystems, I think, at
Oh,
the time.
we
Joint
were
for
buds, huh?
sure. Not buds, but you know how it
Old
goes, eh?
Canadians, old Canadians are friends with each other.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
do
Okay.
Americans like meet up at McDonald's when they're traveling? Sorry, just teasing.
Well, so when I lived
To
in
congregate.
Amsterdam,
Yeah.
there was a meetup group, a group called Meetup, or was it Meet In? I think it was Meet In, and it was expats from all over, but it was mostly Americans. I mean, it was like 90% Americans that were
Fair enough.
getting together, doing the quick. Every month we'd have like a few of us get in the car and go to Aachen to go to the Walmart
Oh,
in Germany to be able to get American toilet paper.
wow.
Priorities.
Fair. Yeah. No. Listen. You were talking to. We've talked about bums before on the
Yeah,
show. I think it's important. It's one of those
yeah.
things that we do multiple
It
times a
is.
day,
It
and
is.
that
It
has an
is.
impact on the earth.
It is. So we
Yes.
talked a bit about
Mhm.
about bad or awkward announcements from the Olama team announcing features that had been around for a while, and let's create an announcement now, even though the feature's been there. So they had another one
Oh
today
no.
or yesterday. That they
Okay.
announced MLX support in Olama.
Oh yeah. What?
So this has been in Olama for 3 months, 4 months, and so it's good. It's great to see
But
that. Yeah. What?
what? Why does it say in preview too? Sorry, I just pulled up the blog
Yeah,
post.
I know. I know. I mean, it's for now they've released one model that works great. There are other models that also work, but they're not mentioning it that yet. I don't know why. I mean, it's probably. I mean, it's they've got a lot of people to potentially support. I mean, even if it's support via email or news groups or whatever, um, uh, chat messages. I mean, there's a lot of users for Olama, so you probably want to be careful about releases and releasing too much, because people will be upset. Um,
So the alternative is just to not devil's
yeah.
advocate, but to think about the alternative here. So it could run it. The alternative is MLX LM, I think, at least on Mac.
So
It's
there's LM Studio, which uses MLX,
fair. Yep.
and then there's the MLX tools from Apple that.
Uh,
Um,
the one I'm using is ML Explorer. MLXLM is the one that
I
I
think that's
typically use.
Apple. I mean,
Oh,
Apple
maybe.
made MLX,
Oh, okay, yeah. This it does
um,
say by Apple. Yes, thank you.
and
Um, it's
right
slower.
now,
The models
huh?
are bigger and it's slower. Like, is it?
No,
What? No.
no, they're like
Oh,
significantly faster.
are they not bigger though?
MLX. I don't know about bigger. It's hard to
Because
compare.
I've been doing tests and I can't get like DeepSeek R1, for example, to run faster in MLX
Hmm.
than GGUF.
So
And this is maybe why
right,
I'm interested in like they said the new NVIDIA FPX4 or something format is what they're using to
hmm.
quantize, and maybe that's why.
One of the yeah, there you can have if the model uses U32
Hmm.
data types, that will not work. But U16
Okay,
will, unsigned 16-bit integers, I think it is. That does, or floats. I don't know, I forget. But that those models do work. So when you look at Hugging Face, looking at models, if you see it
gotcha,
says U32 somewhere, then that's not going to work.
gotcha.
But on Olama. Now, one thing that's I, I I think so. One thing that's delayed the MLX release on Olama, I think, not, I don't know any details, but I think has been they've been working with the team at the original developers, Apple developers on MLX. They've been working with them to get more of MLX to work on Windows and Linux and not just Mac.
Oh, interesting.
So I think, and that's a bunch of updates have been around that, um, but that doesn't seem to be ready yet. Because MLX was first offered on Olama, um, in the it's used in the image generation tools. So you can
Oh,
create images in Olama.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's all MLX.
Huh. Interesting. Apologies, I kind of like lost my internet there for a second because I forgot we were podcasting and actually started to download the model. But they do mention, I think it's Quen 3.5, which is
Yeah,
a great model,
great
in fact,
model.
and I've used
Yep.
quite a bit for coding. Sorry, a lot of my testing
All
is
right.
coding, but I do want to try this out because I've been testing MLX models and they seem to be slower for my test, but my test is like literally creating a slide deck. So
Yeah.
it's like creative writing basically,
Yeah.
and it could be that the MLX conversions that I'm using aren't
Right.
that great. I've also made a couple for what we talked about last week, Nemotron, which I
Mm.
didn't actually
Hmm.
like, and it is kind of like not a great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I realize they've got Nemo Claw and things like that coming out, but the one I tested wasn't that great. But I also noticed it took like more CPU to run and stuff like that. So
Right.
maybe that's what they're talking about, is that we're at a point now where the conversion actually needs to
Yeah.
be done properly, and they're doing their own
Right.
artisanal, perhaps. Very cool.
Okay. So that's that one done.
Check them off. How many do you have left?
I
Holy
got
moly.
well. I've got a few things. So let's do
All
a
right. What does
fast,
he got?
a quick hits.
Lightning round.
You saw the we've got a few things causing problems around like chips, like the
Yes.
Strait of Hormuz stuff,
Helium. Yep.
helium, and we've got what, like 28 days of helium left, or something crazy
Mm-hmm.
like that. And
Mm-hmm.
Sony stopped selling CF cards,
Memory cards. Yes.
memory
Not no,
cards,
not just CF.
but is it memory?
SDN CF.
Yeah. What's the other? S. Yeah, CF
SD.
and sorry,
SDN CF.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. CF Express
yeah,
A, CF Express B,
right,
and and people are like, who's buying overpriced Sony
yeah.
memory cards? You know who? Hey, I'm buying those cards because, like, honestly, the other ones overheat a lot of the time, or they
Yeah,
break. And some
yeah,
of the SanDisk ones are like, if you never know where they
yeah,
come from because people just pirate them. So yeah, I've been buying the Sony Tough ones with
yeah,
the G on them that cost a pretty penny but are really really
yeah.
good. So yeah.
And then another interesting thing was apparently Amazon has a bunch of satellites for in low
Yes.
orbit, and so Delta is switching over to using them for Wi-Fi on the
What?
Delta flights starting in, I think, next year. But it's only 500 aircraft, which means chances are the one you're on doesn't have it. In fact, the one you have doesn't even have the last one.
Now, speaking of satellites, I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm going to. Have you heard about Reflect Orbital? I don't want to give them
Reflect
any more
Orbital.
press.
No.
What did I type in? I typed into Google request sunlight at night because this is the only use case I can think of Reflect Orbital. Remember the Simpsons, Mr. Burns trying to like block out the sun or re-reflect it so they could have like all
Okay.
day? Someone did that. They created a stripe of satellites that are mirrors, and they have motors, and they can move the mirrors. And I think it's 2 meters square, maybe it's a meter square. They can send you down like a beam of light for $1,000 a month, I think is what I saw. I know.
What?
I
Why?
know.
Who would buy it?
Yep.
People are buying this?
Okay. I wanted to say this is a terrible idea, and then I start to think like, well, maybe, when I get older and night blindness is hitting me, like maybe. Like, where are my keys? I'm in a field. Like, if I were a farmer, perhaps
But
maybe it'd be good for hunting.
don't plants need downtime too, or like nighttime?
I think so. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
they do. Or like, do we not have flashlights? Like, are you
yeah.
trying? Like, do you really need to film? Like, is it cheaper for you to rent $1,000 than to rent a I'm trying to Ari Skylight, I think is what they're called.
I
Because
mean,
they
I
come with a
guess
crane
right,
and a crane operator, and then like the light itself. So you've got to rent all of these from a rental company, and it's
right.
probably going to cost you more than $1,000. Would it be easier to use the sun in the sky? I don't know. Is it good for the planet? Probably not.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
it's just me.
I was
Like, maybe it's fine for the planet. I don't know. It just seems
yeah.
seems wrong to me. I could be wrong.
Wow. I mean, we just started getting into and we got estimates for putting solar panels on our roof. And of course, solar panels don't generate anything at night.
Yeah. Well, there you go. For
So
$1,000 a month, you can
$1,000 a
generate some
month,
more.
I can save a few bucks on my electric bill.
No, listen, I don't know how many requests a month you get for $1,000. It might just be one. So yeah, maybe this isn't
Yeah,
the best plan.
yeah. And then another little tidbit: Mac Pro's gone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Are you shedding a tear? I'm shedding a tear.
yeah, terrible. I mean,
No, like literally, I actually, in the Display XDR, I kind of want to buy both
yeah.
at discount so I could like keep them as the
Oh,
value increases because I like the design. I want to
I
get
think
those
the
thousand
design's
dollar
great.
wheels, man. Oh, I
I
want
mean,
those
it's
thousand
stuck in
dollar
the
wheels.
M2
Yeah, M2 Ultra,
Ultra.
I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, but could still have like terabytes of memory. I think
Oh
better
yeah.
than anything else they've got.
Yeah. And then April 1st, tomorrow, April Fools, we've got the 50th anniversary of Apple.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you know
And
I also have an
and
anniversary tomorrow?
Artemis 2 is supposedly was going to take off
Oh, shoot.
spacecraft to the moon.
Oh,
Um, oh, what else is an anniversary tomorrow?
I got married on April 1st, April
Oh, did
Fool's
you
Day,
really?
24 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
Not 25, but 24. Almost.
Wow.
We almost
Okay.
made it. Silver, I think, is 25. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
Wow. What,
Yeah,
you
I
got
know.
married when you were
I'm close.
4?
Pretty much. Yeah, I think it was 21. I'm
Oh
terrible at
my
math.
God.
22? I was 22.
Huh. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Assuming you make
Congratulations
it
or
that
whatever. Yeah,
far.
for them. Yeah, if I can
Assuming you
make it
make it
through the night, we'll
tomorrow.
see.
Yeah. Uh,
It's dangerous in Vancouver. World Cup's coming soon.
yeah. Oh yeah. There's something coming on here in Seattle.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
World Cup
absolutely. At the
too? Is
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Are
yeah.
we
In about
sharing?
a month. Yes,
Oh,
yes. In
okay.
fact, I think neither of us has like a final or anything cool, but we're
Okay.
definitely stadiums that they'll be using. It's
Okay.
like the MLS stadiums. I think is what they're using the
Yeah.
MLS network to run World Cup.
Hmm.
Hopefully not all turf, but yeah.
And then I
Who
wasn't
knows?
sure, which, I mean, regarding Apple, I wasn't sure
Mhm.
whether Apple was older or Microsoft was older. But turns out Microsoft's 50th was last year on April 5th. So
They
they're
are
like
older.
they are less than a year
Oh,
apart.
oh, because Bill's mom got him to sell Basic to somebody, right?
Right.
It is how it worked. So they had to
Yeah.
incorporate, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, before they even, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally makes sense. And
Yeah.
then did they not license Basic to Apple as well, or something
Oh,
like that?
they
But they
sold it
didn't
to
even
everyone.
own Basic, which is
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
the. Anyway, sorry. I love this story. I think this is
Yeah.
amazing.
And I love the fact that they get on a plane, or whoever was getting on the plane gets on a plane, goes over to where they're going in Arizona or New Mexico, to Altair, I think, and
Mhm.
on the plane realizes I forgot to write the loader, and he writes the loader
On the plane?
on the plane without
What?
any compute, just
Whoa!
like by memory. Okay, here's how to do it, and he tries it, and it works first time.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's the story.
So like I don't talk about being a founder very often. I founded a hardware company, which is the dumbest idea. Don't do this. And all we did was like build custom PCs and servers for people. But one of the things my co-founder would always tell me is like when you're done building a PC, don't put the side panel back on. Test it first because it's never gonna work the first try.
Mm.
And like I'm not going to say he was never right, but like 99.999% he was right. And even the times like he was wrong, I would have to open it back up because like there's something else I wanted to do, sort of thing,
Right.
like an extra. And it feels like one of those things. Like
Yeah.
there's no way you write code the first, like compiles first time. It's just like, nah.
Apparently he did. So,
All right, I'll believe it. I'll believe
okay,
it.
we're at an hour. Do we want
Yeah,
to do
keep
our
going.
like picks?
We're
I
good.
got
Yeah,
picks
if you want
ready.
picks.
I
Oh,
got them.
okay, well, show me.
I got one
Give me your
pick.
picks.
I
Give
got
me
one
your
pick.
picks. What do you got? Give me your pick.
So, Tony and I started watching this program on Apple TV. We didn't. It's been there for a while. We just
Okay.
finally got around to it.
Okay.
I don't even know why I started watching it, but I started watching it, and
Yep.
it is spectacular.
Okay, I'm trying to think of. I'm going to try to guess here.
Okay.
Can you give me one guess? Is it the morning show?
No.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
Drops of God.
I've not heard of this. What the heck is Drops of God?
Uh,
Drops of God.
God. Yes.
Holy moly! I pulled it up. Is it British?
Absolutely fantastic. It's in Japanese and French and English.
Wow.
It's
You're okay with the subtitles?
I'm originally English, of course. We're dealing with subtitles all the time.
Huh. Yeah, this is like this is for
fantastic.
me, not for you. This is Japanese, French, and English.
This is fantastic.
That's my trifecta right there. Right on.
So yeah, it's this guy who writes these wine guides for for like 20 years.
That's where the drops are from. Thank you.
Okay. And his daughter, he's really into wine. He even starts he's a professor for a short while in Japan, and we see at the beginning he is teaching his 8-year-old daughter how to identify all the key notes in wine. Not by drinking, but just by
Oh, okay, thank you. I was
smelling,
like, wait a
just
second.
smelling the,
Oh,
and being able to sniff
huh.
all the, oh, it's an orange and uh, quince and all these other things in the wine, and she can just identify it like one sniff, and she almost knows the wine. Um,
Wow.
but there was some incident where she actually had to drink the wine, and then she instantly like had this horrible reaction to it, blood coming out of her nose. And ever since then, every time she touches any alcohol, she just starts bleeding.
Right.
Okay, so
Interesting.
this happens, when she's 8. Fast forward, um, uh, she she gets this call from her dad. She hasn't talked to her dad in a long time. Says, "You
Mhm.
need to come. I need to see you now. Um, I'm dying. I need to see you."
Oh.
She goes over. He dies while she's on the plane. So she goes into the reading of the will and says, "I the will said that he's got the most fantastic wine collection in the world, worth hundreds of
Mhm.
millions of dollars, and it's all going to go to one of two people, whoever can win this little test.
Oh.
It's either going to go to her or to this Japanese guy who was his student for a long time.
Right, right, right.
And whoever can is the test is, here's a wine. Tell me what year it was made and by who. And they get
Wow.
one taste, and then they come back a month later with a final taste, and they have to give their the. But of course, she has a first sip, and she starts bleeding, and she runs out, and so that's the
Shit.
beginning.
All right. All right.
And there
Episode one.
is,
That's
and
the
every
story.
episode like introduces like, what? And it's fantastic. It is fantastic.
So interesting enough, this is like a Apple TV Plus series that debuted on Hulu in Japan and France 2, which is like
Hmm.
kind of what would you call it? NBC, like NBC Two, basically. But I think it's now on Apple TV as opposed to Apple TV Plus. So can you watch it as part of your subscription kind of thing? I think it might be. Anyway, I
There's a
think people might
difference
be able to
between
just watch
Plus
this.
and TV.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I think you might have access to it with like your Apple account
Oh, with your Apple
as opposed
TV
to.
hardware unit.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Interesting.
It's a
Yeah, this looks
fantastic
really cool.
series.
So it's yeah, so it's all French and Japanese, and then English subtitles.
English. Well, there's parts in English as well.
Oh, cool. This looks awesome. I will
Yeah.
definitely watch at least the first episode. Right
Every
on.
episode, the first episode really grabbed me, and every episode since then has really grabbed me. It's fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool. I man, I haven't been watching anything, so I can't. Did you watch Kazam? Does Kazam ring a bell?
No, you mentioned that
No,
last. I did
you
not.
gotta watch Kazam. You gotta watch Kazam. I think you'll
Okay,
like it, but
Krizam.
it's like the humor might hurt a little
How do you
bit.
spell that?
I've been
Krizam,
Krazam.
like Shazam, but with KR.
Yeah,
Sure.
you got it. I've been playing a lot of Suikoden, which I don't think is
Suikoden.
available for iOS or anything like that. Suikoden. Suikoden would be like I don't know if it translates. Does it translate? Fantasy water margin. It's like a role playing game, but it's really
Okay.
really old. It's based on the 108 Stars of Destiny, which is kind of like an old story.
Hmm.
But there's 108 characters in the
Oh,
story, so it's like I figured as
that's
somebody
like
who
One
likes
Piece.
Russian literature, you might like this, like some Dostoevsky rotating
Oh my
cast. Do
god.
I care
Yeah.
about this person or not? It's very story heavy. The gameplay itself is not that great, but I think the story is pretty good so far. It came out as a 1+2 on Switch. It's been remastered basically. I think it's available for most things. Oh, apparently, it is available for iOS. My
Hmm.
apologies. Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo DS. It's been around for a minute, but it's a pretty good story. And yeah, I think I'd recommend it. Suikoden,
Wow.
role
Wow.
playing game for pretty much everything at this point in time.
Hmm.
This is more one of those like patient gamer recommendations. A game that's
Right.
been around for a while. If you want to pick up now, I think you'd be able to find a guide to walk through on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
The story's really good and it holds up after this much time. It's originally from like I'm looking here 1995, so
Wow.
it's definitely held up pretty good. Yeah, 30 years.
What did I
Uh,
see that was? Oh, somebody. I ran into a problem with Olama, and I was like paying one of the developers about it. Um, and the problem was on a particular Linux box. I was trying to log in
mhm,
to my Olama account,
mhm.
and it was normally on a headless box it would like say, okay, copy this URL, plug it in a
Right,
browser, and
right.
then execute it and then return the URL back here.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
there was a browser on there. It was Lynx. And
Did it
Lynx,
open in links?
it tried to open it in Lynx. But
Like it,
there's all these redirects that happen
right,
because they're doing authentication with WorkOS,
right, right, right.
and some of
Everybody is, yeah.
it didn't continue and it had a problem, and so it ends on this work os thing. It's like, work os, I'm trying to talk to Olama, what's going on here? um
Now, now I don't want to like listen. I don't want to call you old or anything, but how do you spell links? Just out of curiosity, because the way you're saying it makes me think you're using the old version. Is it Lynx?
yes.
I think you're supposed to be using links too, which is Links two, the number,
Hmm.
or like another browser. I
Okay.
think links itself is like really old and is only around for
it was
compatibility reasons.
it was on the Ubuntu box. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, but it
already
doesn't have
installed.
like a
Yeah, no, I
HTTP
didn't.
SSL cert.
But I didn't.
Yeah, 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 like
Yeah, I didn't do
oh,
anything. It just
it's
said,
not there by
oh,
default.
there's a browser.
No, no
i
way,
don't
no
i
way. It's
don't
not
know
there,
what
but
was.
no, no way. You're saying Ubuntu ships with
No,
links?
I am saying that this particular instance that
Okay,
I
okay,
was on
okay.
had links already installed. I didn't
All right,
install it,
that's believable. That's
but
believable. Because it's ancient. Links is
yeah,
like
it
I
is.
think
It is.
Solaris requires it and stuff. Like Oracle, sorry,
It
requires it.
predates Chrome,
Crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
Links is
actually links is. I mean,
super
on
old.
the web page it says it's still under constant development
Absolutely, but I think it's like
as Lynx.
yeah, 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 but it's like a bug. It's like bug compatible, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's
Hmm.
what's it called? It's
The
been around
text
for a
web
long, long
browser.
time.
The most
Yeah,
stable version is 292.
and I think is W3M not the one that you're supposed to use? I think I think W3M is the
There's nothing.
current up to
How would
date
you
one.
know that?
Yeah, yeah, good
Yeah.
question. Just having used all four of these, so there's
So
links
links
Lynx, there's
versus
links spelled out
LYNKS,
KS2. Um,
KS2.
yes, but I think W3M is aside from the agent browser that we just looked at, but W3M is a fork of EWW. I think. Um, and both of those are supposed to be continuations of links without keeping the bugs, if that makes sense. So
Hmm.
if there was a bug in links that people wrote around, it may or may not work in W3M. Is my understanding. Like they don't care about the legacy, basically.
Hmm. Oh, we got a comment. Our first
Yeah,
comment
yeah,
of the day.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
and they're not wrong. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it supported frame buffers beforehand. And I think the other thing that W3M supported that none of these did was images in the command line as well.
Hmm.
Or you could run W3M as a terminal app in Xterm to run it like a text
And it's
browser.
LINKS too.
Yes. It's links
Okay.
to. Yeah. I think what used to happen back in the day is just because I've been playing with NetBSD a bunch. When you grab ports under web browsers, it will give you all the web browsers. And I would just try them all out to see which
Hmm.
ones would work back in the day. And most of what I was trying to do is to get to this website, and I hope he never sees this, but it's called linuxquestions.org. Try not to swear here, but that's literally what I was doing most of the time. Or like SourceForge back in the day. Fresh Meat, I'm not sure if you remember that was like the package kind of
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like
Fresh
these are
meat
the
is
three sites I
Slashdot.
was trying
Yeah.
to get to. I was like, man, I need this RPM and I don't know where to
Yeah.
find it or SRPM. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was using these for. So yeah,
Uh,
I would love to hear more about command line browsers though. Like this is definitely
yeah.
well within my wheelhouse. I love this stuff.
Well, you earlier I wrote a note and I had to do a little research. It turned out my path did not work out
Oh
because
no.
you said that there was some text written in Albanian, and I had to do a quick lookup to see is
Armenian.
Armenian. Okay,
Yeah.
is
It.
Armenian? Is there any link between Armenian and Estonian? And apparently, those are two very different
Oh,
languages. And the reason why I was looking that up, it was if they were linked or that they were somewhat related to each other, you could ask one of your colleagues who is a Estonian speaker.
gotcha. No, Armenian
Do you know who
language to
the
me.
Estonian speaker is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Jason Yee.
yeah.
Sorry to say publicly the other Jason.
No, I mean I was
Um,
going to say it too.
oh yeah, that's fair. So Armenian's pretty interesting in that it looks like Sanskrit, which is what I assumed it was, but it
Really?
is not. And it's
Oh,
yeah. There's
yeah.
like
I'm thinking. I
I
keep
read
thinking
through like
Albanian,
the art.
which puts me
Yeah,
in Eastern Europe.
no, no,
Armenian, as in
Asia.
like
Think
early. I
Asia.
mean
Yeah.
that region. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So like, yeah, right around there. And it's
Okay.
actually really, really like I ended up reading into it because I was like, how do you compress three sentences into like what looks like a
Yeah.
word, basically?
Yeah.
How is this possible? And it's like a completely different
Hmm.
writing style. Like it's got some similarities to
Yeah.
Sanskrit, but yeah, it's its own thing. And it's like fairly specific. Like I've not come across Armenian language ever
Right.
in my travels. This is the first time. And it was like the payload was Chinese. It was very interesting, but it's
Wow.
between Turkey, Georgia, and Iran. It's just a little bit north of Iran.
I have a book on my bookshelf. Learn Sanskrit in 30 days.
Nice.
I've had it for 20
30 days.
years. I have not learned Sanskrit. That was
Well,
from when I
Sanskrit's
went
hard.
to Nepal a few times, and I picked that up.
Nice. I've never been, but I actually lived with somebody who lived in
Yeah.
Nepal for quite some time, a Japanese person,
Hmm.
and they said they loved it. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful country.
Yep.
All right, I think we can
Okay.
probably call it. We're 15 over, 13 over, but thank you very much, Sean,
We had to
for
wait that long for one
yeah,
comment to come
no,
in.
worth it. I think
Totally.
anytime we're talking about text browsing, I'm here for it. You have no idea. I
There's
think the
another
web.
text browser too. Isn't there another popular
Uh,
one?
oh, let me know.
There is another popular one.
Links, links to W3M. Well, Emacs. Does Emacs count as an operating system or
No,
browser?
there's another one. Text-based browsers. I thought.
Hmm. Arachnid. Arachnid was the original.
Oh yeah.
No. Hmm.
W3M. Browsh.
Oh,
BROWSH.
browse sh. Isn't that like in Bash?
Text-based browser that uses Firefox. Huh. And then Carbonell. Chromium-based browser.
No, it's JavaScript. I can't. and and they're Rick rolling you on the preview. Awful.
Um. Yeah.
You
Browd.sh.
sorry, we're now deep in the tool section, but just one more question for you. Did you see that Zellige supports web mode now? And I realize this is not for everybody, but like you can resume a session from Zellige on a different computer using a web
Oh.
browser web session to that computer.
Oh.
This is fantastic.
That's pretty
It is
cool.
fantastic for agents. It is so cool.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. And then you can do things like have Playwright CLI log on to quote unquote a shell. Let's say you don't have SSH, whatever, they're on the same telnet, and do things like type in stuff into that Zellige session, which is not only resumable, but is backed up. You can resume the session and like go through the
Huh.
context. It like respool it to it. It's fantastic. If Claude loses your sessions or whatever, Zellige has your back, and it has a web browser. It's
That's pretty cool.
phenomenal. Yeah, again, this is one of your recommendations, I think, from 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Finally,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why would anybody ever use Tmux again? And I know Ghosty has some of these pane managers in there, but listen, once you have like 100 Ghosty tabs,
Yeah.
it's unfortunately it doesn't
No.
it crashes
Yeah.
so bad.
It
Yeah,
crashes on
I'm
one.
back. It crashes just resizing, unfortunately. At least on Mac, yeah.
Yeah.
I still use it.
I'm going to throw
Yeah.
one more thing. Thinking
Oh,
of
oh,
crashes,
what do we got?
not really a crash, but I was trying to use. I have an OpenClaw set up, and I was trying to use it, and it was a new session, and it couldn't even figure out that it was OpenClaw.
This
Like,
has
no, I'm
happened to
not.
me.
I'm not OpenClaw.
It's
No,
like, I
I'm
don't even
not
know what you're
OpenClaw.
talking about.
Yeah. Like, what? We
Did
were
it give
just
you any
talking about
idea?
this a few seconds ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
that, and how you'll say, okay, I want you to do this task at 5 a.m. Great. I have it scheduled to do. So, and then a little time passes. What do you have scheduled for tomorrow at 5 a.m.? It's like, no, I don't have anything in
Nothing.
my schedule.
Yeah.
But I can add it. Would you like me to add it? So yes, I'd like to do that. Okay, it's added. And then he
And then it
asks
does it
again,
twice.
what what is scheduled now? I don't have anything scheduled. I can schedule something if you'd like. It's like I flashed you this out. Yeah,
Yeah. So
frustrating.
we're back into cron, right? And I will
Yeah,
say the agents do read and write cron pretty well, but like external tools,
yeah,
external tools are the way to go. You
yeah,
gotta. It just doesn't know. And
yeah,
mail and a mail queue, some sort of mail
yeah.
queue and external tools. Anyway, come
Anyway,
back next week
yeah,
to hear our adventures in harness
yeah,
engineering. But like, I think we're both struggling at this point in time.
yeah. Totally.
All right, folks,
Alrighty,
let's find the end
it's
button.
been fun. Alrighty, bye bye.